Complete forgiveness is not denying that an offense took place. Denying that there has been a hurtful action or word or deed in your life, or repressing or suppression of how I truly feel inside, is usually always done on a subconscious level. It usually occurs as we begin to repress things that have taken place in our lives, that the reality of which are really too tough for us to deal with and process at the time. And we begin to repress these things because it's easier to deal with the situation or the hurt as it's happened or is happening by just pushing it into the back of our minds. The danger with this is that repressing thoughts and living in denial will always resurface at some point in our life, and they have an effect on us from a spiritual standpoint in our relationship with God. It can have mental impacts in our mental health capacities. It also takes an emotional toll as well, but it can also result in physical complications and negative consequences as we go along. We do this on a subconscious level because sometimes the pain, the hurt, and the trauma that we experience in our lives is just too overwhelming for us to deal with in the moment. But as they continue to pile on, because offense and hurt is not something we deal with just once in our life, but it's something that we deal with frequently. And the more that they pile up, eventually it's going to come to the surface somehow in a negative way in our lives. We see victims of abuse deal with this, with repressing and suppressing these things in their lives and living in denial because it becomes a coping mechanism to where they go into survival mode. If you look at now adults that have experienced abuse of some form in their childhood, you will often see that they have repressed and developed a lifestyle of denial because these things were just too difficult for them to cope with in the moment. We see people also who are in abusive situations currently. They tend to do the same thing because it causes a great amount of damage as we walk through them, but it also continues to stir up those feelings, those emotions, those hurts, and those traumas if we try to deal with them. Complete forgiveness is never going to be able to be achieved by repressing or denying that certain events have happened. We can only completely forgive when we are willing to acknowledge and come to the place where we admit that this actually happened in our lives. So I encourage you today, ask God and allow His Holy Spirit maybe to reveal to you some of these areas of hurt, of damage, of trauma that might have been done in your life. Ask Him to reveal those to you. And most importantly, ask Him to help you deal with these things in your life.